What's up guys, my name's Caleb and I do like bus conversions, but vehicle conversions, because we've done double deckers and shuttle buses and vans, and I just had this client bring me this box truck. I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison of like what a box truck is and the pros and cons between it and a school bus, because these things are every bit of the same length and width. So I'm like, you know what does it actually look like to build a box truck versus the bus? So ultimately, these are the same exact things. Like this is a Chevy Cutaway and this is a Chevy Cutaway. And what a cutaway is when they have like a factory van and they literally cut away half of the bus. They cut away from the back of the driver's seat back, and then they put a different type of box on it. So if you look side by side, the front halves of these are the exact same. The difference is this has a bus box and this has like a cargo work box. So the interiors are almost identical. However, when it gets tricky is this is a bus and buses have bus doors. This box truck has a driver's seat and a passenger seat, whereas this just has a driver's seat. So if you're talking about like two people going on a road trip, this kind of has a pro. So somehow I ended up with this cool like measuring thing. I'm gonna measure the distance of the entire bus. So like we're at bumper to bumper right here. So currently at the end of this bus, we're at 22 feet. So keep going, we're at 23 feet. This box truck is a foot longer than this bus. However, the differentiator is because you add mini splits to this thing, I have to extend the bus by like a foot. So bumper to bumper, tail to tail, these things are actually still the exact same length. So then that does open the question like, all right, so the mini split's back here. So it extended the length of this by 1 foot. Well, where do we put the mini split compressor on this? Because this is a box truck, we have a space over the cab of like the driver's seats that you can mount a compressor, which honestly might be a really great spot. It's got a lot of airflow up there. It's a bunch of real estate that's not gonna be used. So instead of adding an extra foot to this, we can just put that compressor to the front of the bus. The other variable is the backside. Like, of course, this is great because we have these emergency doors, but we've got this huge rolling door, which opens up a lot of opportunity for creative designs to be able to open up the entire half of the living quarters. And the reality, it's actually not gonna be that hard to close this off and box this in and put like a solid wall. Whether you turn this into the back door or windows or whatever, that's one of the variables that's like, all right, how much work does it take to do that? And I think between doing that and deleting all of these windows and the demolition of that, I would probably rather do this, because when this is a school bus, it's still a school bus when we get it. So we have to take all the seats out, we have to take all the wiring out, we have to delete the windows that we want to, versus on this platform, we can add windows wherever we choose that fits our design. So versus in this stuff, we have to adapt a little bit more to the bus itself. It's kind of a drawback. So one of the things that I really like about the box truck mindset is you have like more of your dedicated driving space. But what's neat about these is this whole wall is a part of the box truck. Like when they make these things, they cut off half of the van. So this is a completely modular thing that you can adapt to. So technically speaking, you can actually cut out most of this space, or you can just do a pass-through. So you could enter the living quarters from the inside if you choose to do that. With a bus, you're dedicated to all kind of like one space, like the driver's seat is in the actual living quarters. Versus this, you can kind of choose if you want just a driving section with a passenger seat, or you can make this part of the entire space, kind of like a traditional RV as well. I like being able to separate the spaces if I choose to. And like, you know, this is just, you have a passenger seat, so like my wife and I, or my son and I, or one of my girls, one of my daughters can ride with me up here and we can go on a long haul. Versus in the bus, they have to like sit in the back, so I don't get to talk to them quite as clearly. But yeah, that's just one thing that I really like. This box needs some love, but anyways. So on the reverse side, this is the school bus, and the school bus has this big space for a dedicated door. Granted, we make our doors, so we have to fabricate, so that takes a lot of time. But you also have a door already that you could possibly use, whether it's the bifold doors or you install a custom door, but then you also lose the passenger seat. So I don't know what would be my preference on door side, because to fabricate a door and to put one in, that is quite a bit of work, especially with the height and the stairs and things. But that does also open up the opportunity for a different type of layout. So you can actually do your entry door to the back side and put your bed to the front side. So then if you're parked at the beach, you have that back bay door that you can entirely open up, versus this is just a little more like you're fixed to this door side. But then you get the passenger seat. And granted, we could still add like a jump seat here, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. What do you guys think? Do you prefer a passenger seat, or do you just want to have your guests or your passenger in the backside? So one of the big variables that is tricky with buses is the curved roof. And there's a lot of kind of pros and cons between it, but we build these decks and these solar panels, and like we build this all out so it's like a flat platform. But with a box truck, it's already flat. There's a slight curvature, so like water is still gonna like roll off one side or the other, but you already have a flat platform that you can put panels onto very easily, or add another deck or whatever. And like dimensionally speaking, this one is longer than the previous, or than like the actual roof of the bus. But right here, we're at 19 feet, but this includes like a 1.5 foot overhang. Versus this space, we're probably right around 17 feet. So we lose 2 feet, but we also have the simplicity of just using what's already up there. So we don't have to build this like rack system to mount the solar panels. We could just use some solar brackets. I think this is actually larger square footage too, because of the square platform of it, but I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. I think this is like we're in town. We're like in the middle of the airport's like right there. So I think all in all, like this is a lot more complicated to build. Like to do this rack, to fabricate this rack, to then attach all this decking and the solar panels, versus that we can just add the decking and the solar panels. Like we would save a lot of time on this. So I think I'm in favor of that, just because we don't have to fabricate and weld and all that stuff. So we made our way inside, and I've already measured, but as far as interior buildable space, we get about 16 feet. And I'm gonna say 16 feet, like respectfully. There's a little bit more space because of the overhead, but you have like 16 square feet of to the back to actually use. And we're able to fit a lot. This is one of our more recent conversions. We actually just did a really good tour video of this thing, so check it out. It's a great video, and it gives you a full walkthrough of everything. So we were able to fit a lot into this, but with a bus, one of the biggest limitations that you get is your height. Like most buses aren't very tall. Sometimes you can find like a full-size Thomas bus that has an interior height of like 6 feet, but then you add insulation and that starts like knocking away. That's limitation number 1. Versus limitation number 2 is this curvature. One of the biggest things with tiny space is not your square footage. It's not building on the ground that you have, but also understanding the cubic feet, that you can build stuff up here. You can do upper shelving. And if you do that, instead of just having this lower half of cabinets, you can then add more storage up here. So then you added extra a half, a third more of storage and capacity. But with a smaller bus, I really can't add much here, because then it's gonna impede into my headspace. And even here, I'm not a very tall guy, so we're short. But the cool part about buses is they're also steel structures, so they're super, super strong. These things are actually designed to flip upside down on their roofs, and it can carry all the weight. As far as like actual buildable space, we're at 16 feet here. That's kind of all we get. We get 16 by 7.5. We don't get much space over here. So you can still do a lot with 16 square feet, but let's make our way inside, and I'm gonna show you kind of like the difference of what a square structure will get you. So I don't know what it is about like doing this, but I think it's kind of fun. So, huge box. I mean, if you think about this as just one big box that is, I don't know, what's the depth of this one again? 16 feet. So we exactly have the same amount of buildable space in this box as we did in that bus. The exterior bumper to bumper is the same after we did the extension on that because of the compressor. As far as taking up space, we're getting the exact same. One of the big things that we are getting additional though is this headspace. I mean, like I have, what are we at? I'm at 80 inches, just over 6.5 feet. And then we can also add insulation here, and we're still at that 6'3", 6'4", maybe even 6'5" interior space. And what's great about that is if I wanted to add a 10-inch cabinet or a 12-inch cabinet, that comes out to like right here. And that is in no way my like headspace, because my kitchen would be here. I've got all this extra space. So we could theoretically run an extra, what would that be, 16 square feet of storage on both sides if we wanted to. So that's like one of the things that I really appreciate about that, or about this box, is the headspace and the squareness. And then like, you know, on the builder side of it, to build out square walls as opposed to curved walls, like we could get it done a lot faster. Not all box trucks are created equal. Some come with different modifications. Like some actually come with a pass-through door already. Some come with cab over space. On most campers, you'll see they have like the sleeper section above the cab of the vehicle. You could do modifications like that. So I'm actually pretty intrigued now to see what I would do with this kind of a box, because like it's fully adaptable now. There's nothing that's a fixed structure that we have to really build upon. So the last thing to talk about is the exterior height, because that's a big factor when you're driving in town bridges. DOT standard is like 13 feet 6 inches. This bus right here is a pretty low profile bus, but we did add the roof rack and the roof deck. And then we also had a ladder, and because we did a ladder, we had extended it a little bit because we have the pole. So right here, from ground to pole, we're at 123 inches, which comes down to 10 feet 2 inches. This right here, we're currently at 116 inches. So we could still do a little handle for a ladder and be at the same height. That's crazy because you get like an extra 1.5 foot interior height space. But then also, if you look underneath, the ground clearance right here, where you could add simply a bunch of storage, is 30 inches, versus over here, we're at 13 inches. So like, theoretically, we're gonna have to add the tanks and stuff. So, but just because you have all of this already open and you don't have to cut and make these doors and things, it's a lot more simple to add some toolboxes or your gray tank or propane bottle. And I kind of like this bus. This bus is so great. So I'm really excited to see if I can find a good deal on a box truck and see what we build with it. But what do you guys think about it? Would you prefer a box truck or a bus? I've done probably 15 different bus conversions. I have not done a box truck. This is a fiberglass shell, but I have done shuttle buses, which is a fiberglass shell. And the cool thing about a fiberglass shell is you don't have that heat transfer from the metal conductivity. So like it might not sweat, or like, you know, it's a big tin can, so it'll hold insulation a little better, a little worse versus this. But you also don't have to deal with metal and cutting sparks and burning. You can just cut and glue and put some wood on it. So those are my thoughts of a guy that has built school buses, shuttle buses, vans, double deckers, horse trailers, a box truck versus school bus. What do you guys think is the most appropriate? Should we try to build a box truck in the future? So thank you so much for watching. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you don't. And if you could subscribe, we'd really, really appreciate it. And if we do our cards correctly, maybe we should build one like this. I don't know, that would easily hold my family of 6. Thank you guys.